I'm Jay Thomas, and welcome to Rides.
Fast car like a bolt to lightning. Fast car blows right.
Mike?
Yes.
Jay Thomas with Rides.
How are you, Mike?
How you doing, brother?
Pleased to meet you.
Hey, man, thanks for having us.
You betcha.
What is it with you guys and your collections in Texas? I mean, you boys really like your cars.
We like our cars.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Okay. You like cars, Mike.
Yes, we got a few.
Is that a Marlin over there?
That is a Marlin. They didn't make too many of these. It's got the 4-speed 327. It's the only 4-speed one I've ever seen.
I think this is only probably the second or third Marlin I've ever seen. You just don't see these things. And here we go, a 409.
A 409, yep. This is the Beach Boy car. She's so fine, my 409.
Real Super Duties?
Real Super Duties.
Two of them.
This is 1929, dual califating, and these headlights here are geared to the steering column. They solved things mechanically back in the day. These radiator slats are thermostatically controlled. When they get warm, they open up. And when they close, they're closed
Now
down.
think about that. That's 1929. They knew.
Flathead Cadillac
Look at that
V8.
Flathead.
There's a vacuum pump that runs off the camshaft. She runs down the road nice.
This was more about styling, looks,
Right.
functionality for the time period. How is this to drive? Is it an easy car to drive?
It doesn't have power steering, but other than that, it's pretty easy. And it cruises nice. It'll cruise pretty nice at 50, 60 miles an hour.
It will, huh?
Yeah, figure back in this day, the gangsters were running these things the moonshiners were running these things at 70, 80 miles an hour. So there's plenty of power in this thing, and it goes down the road and it goes pretty straight. And it's hard to find parts for this car.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, brother. You got another building we got to check out?
Let's go to the other
Oh,
one.
man. So, come on. These guys in their Corvette garages, a split window.
That one I've had since I was 21.
Really?
Yep, this is a 100% original car. Original paint, original interior, everything's original on this car.
This car is untouched. You have an untouched 63 split.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be kidding me.
I looked at 20 of these.
20 of them?
20 of them because I want to get.
So you had that opportunity back then. They were, yeah.
There was 20 of them in the newspapers. I would just watch them, and they ranged in price from $700 to $1,700 was the most expensive one, and that was it. It was about a 6-7-year-old car when I bought it.
For $1,700. $1,700. Yeah, I know you guys are all crying right now.
If you look at the inside, it's still got the original seats, it's still got the original carpets, original dash, everything in it.
And it's in great shape. A lot of these cars, we never thought these things would become as valuable as they are. You know, I mean, there's cars now that you could sell and retire on, and we could pick them up when we were younger for nothing. Dude, if I hung on to all the cars I had when I was in my teens and early 20s, I wouldn't have to work anymore.
You love the cars, you love having them around. There are a lot of memories in
Well,
them.
it brings back memories. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, even if it's a stranger, I mean, you and I don't know each other, and we met today, and we can sit here and just BS about, you know,
Old cars,
and brings back memories. And get me out of this building before I start crying.
Let's go in here.
All right, here we go. Another. Oh, geez, come on.
Now here's my 55 T-Bird from 15.
This is the car you bought when you were 15 years old, and you still have this damn thing.
My dad was stationed out at Sandia Base in Albuquerque. The Mustangs had just come out. He bought himself a brand new GT Mustang, and he was always out there working on this thing, and his buddy had this 55 T-Bird, which was at point original, pretty much. And they were always tinkering with them together. Well, it took the guy about 3 weeks to wreck the Mustang. So then the two of them hatched a plan. They would take that brand new little Mustang GT drivetrain and stick it in here. And they got about halfway through it, and then they got transferred to Germany. In the process of starting the engine, they dropped something, a nut or something, scored into the water jacket, this brand new little 289. Right?
Okay.
And
So they're thinking it's junk.
finally bought this car for $550. I had to borrow a couple $100 from my parents to do it. And at that point, I was completely broke, and I had this broken down car, no engine, nothing. Everybody told me the engine was a boat anchor. Everybody said, throw it away, you know, find an original engine, do something. And I go like, I ain't got any money. And somebody said, you might try this little machine shop, maybe they can help you. And I took this thing down, I stripped the block down, put it in the trunk of my dad's Studebaker, went down there and asked the guy if he could take a look at it. He goes, I can fix that. I said, no kidding. I said, it broke, scored all the way. He goes, I can fix that. And sure enough, I said, can I watch? And he said, sure. And he had a mud hut with a big fire pit in the middle,
Okay.
with a TP roof with the chimney going up. They fired up all these coals. They had red hot coals in the middle. He stuck it on a mill. He bored out that cylinder, threw that block in the coals, machined right in front of me the cylinder for it. And I'm thinking to myself, this is never gonna run, right?
Yeah.
And I'm asking the guy how much. He said, oh, this is gonna be about 17 bucks.
$17 for all this machine work.
Then when they finish all that, the block's still in the coals. He's got this thing. He goes to this little teeny old ice box with the little freezer in the corner. Waited about an hour and a half. He said, okay, he yelled at the guys. They chain folded it out of the dang fire pit. It was glowing red. He took this sleeve out of it, dropped it in there, hit it 3 times with a ball-peen hammer. Said, we'll quench it, we'll cool it, come back in an hour or 2. And he said, it should be good to go. You're gonna need a new piston. I went to Ford, I bought the piston. That engine is still in this car, still running to this day.
So that whole story, saving that motor, that little shop for $17 and a piston, and that motor's in here.
Yep.
You have to pop the hood. So everybody's telling you, Tosh, this is junk, the motor's no good?
Yep.
And for $17 and a piston, there it is.
And that is the vision
Look at
of
that.
a 15-year-old hot rodder.
Wow. It still runs today?
Still runs today. I painted this this is Sheffield Fire Mist Silver. So this was done in 1970, 71.
No, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you, if this was mine, Mike, I wouldn't touch this. How old were you when you put the paint job on this?
21.
21, and this paint is still actually holding up pretty damn good.
So this is the original color.
There you go.
I love that color too.
Seafoam.
This is a conundrum car. It's like leave it alone and drive it, or paint it back original, or paint it back silver just like I did at 21.
If you paint it back silver, that's great. That's the color you painted it. But that's not the paint job that the 21-year-old kid put
No,
on.
that's exactly right.
This is your history. Don't erase it. Mike, you are a great guy. You've got a great collection. Your life story is just unbelievable, and you're one of these guys that just likes to share your, what you have.
I love this stuff, yeah.
And and I love it. And again, Texas has just been fantastic. And I got to tell you, man, thank you so much for being on Rides.
You betcha. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming, Jay.
Thank you, Mike.
What year was the Corvette introduced with the Stingray or ducktail rear end? Is the answer A, 1962, B, 1959, C, 1961, or D, 1965? The answer when we come back. The answer is C, 1961. The 1961 Corvette's rear style was inspired by Bill Mitchell's XP700 and the Stingray racing car.
Ooh. How you doing, brother?
Come in and get out of the rain.
Wow, look at that. Tell me about the truck, man. This thing is gorgeous.
Well, 64 Chevy, and as you can see, it looks stock, but you'll notice it has a little bit of a lowered ride height. We bought the truck off the internet from a guy in Memphis.
You got some good Southeast history.
Yeah, I was looking for a truck that had the features, so when you have it done, it's a deluxe truck.
All the bright work on here, it's gorgeous. I love the rims.
Those are Schott, S-C-H-O-T-T. The wheel's called split window, so that's kind of an homage to the 63 Corvette.
You got a little bit of your vet in your truck.
And there's a Chevy thing going on here too, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I tried to keep it all in the family.
What is this?
Well, believe it or not, that's the exact kind of wood this pickup was born with.
Really?
It's just southern yellow pine. Obviously, we treated it a little different. The original truck would have come with kind of a gray-looking creosote kind of treatment.
Yeah.
It's still, again, stock, but we stained it and then clear-coated it, like the same clear coat you put on the paint.
I love it. There's your filler right
Yeah,
there.
we've got a stainless steel gas tank right under the frame here instead of having it in the cab right behind the seat.
It's got to be geared up so you can just haul down the highway.
It's made for highway cruising,
Sure.
kind of that kind of gear set in it. And then it's the 470L electronic controlled transmission.
Nice. And what is it for? What are you running for an engine?
LS2, 6-liter, 485 horsepower is what they're rated at. Most of those engines just have a cover on them like you see on the Corvettes.
Yep.
We talked with the guy who built our chassis and did the running gear about what do we do to make it look old school, and he recommended this Edelbrock ProFlow electronic fuel injections.
And it looks old school.
Yeah, if you want to
let's take a look. Yeah, it's just, when guys started putting these LS swaps, in their vehicles, you didn't have those options. And now, look at that. Just, old school all the way. Would you say about 480 horse?
485.
Interior, beautiful. I love this. That is some soft leather.
Actually, that's a vinyl.
That's a vinyl?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, it's the original seat. This is kind of a custom design here. If you look at the trim on the outside, I kind of suggested maybe we do a similar treatment on the inside.
Man, you guys didn't miss a thing on this. Can we fire it up?
Absolutely.
Oh. Nice. Yeah. Wow. Hit that pedal a couple times, Tim. That's wow. Dude, that is awesome, man.
We'll all have a headache.
I got goosebumps. Tim, I'm blown away by this color. This color is just...
Yeah, isn't it something?
This is beautiful.
This is the original color.
That is the original color? Isn't that something Toonie do? Because probably some of the most time spent is trying to figure out what color you want to do.
It almost looks like a color you should see on cars today.
That's what they'll do. You'll look at the modern car, go, I like that color. And it's amazing what even, let's say a blue on a Toyota, you go, that's Toyota blue, but you put it on a classic car or truck, it looks completely different.
Yeah.
And that's why I was blown away by this. I can't believe that this is a factory color. This pops.
It's called crystal turquoise. And then the black is a modern Corvette color. It's called carbon flash. And if you look close, it has a teal metal flake in the paint.
Yep. Yeah, you can really see the turquoise flecks in there. And trucks, man, these things have just exploded.
Yeah, they're harder to find now.
Yeah, and the prices are going through the roof on them.
The mileage is like in the 80,000 range.
Okay.
So it's not like it didn't get used. They drove it and enjoyed it.
Because honestly, it doesn't matter where in the country you live. I mean, trucks were bought for a purpose back then. They were bought to be workhorses.
Yeah.
Exactly. They got pounded on, whether it was the farm, the ranch, whatever it was, whether a stump jumper, whatever, that's what they were.
Yeah,
that's what they were purchased for.
Now, when you buy a new truck, it's as much a family vehicle as it is a work vehicle.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that in the '60s. They were all built for work. My dad was a mechanic, so I grew up in a shop. So this is all nostalgia for me.
Sure, and it is for a lot of people. It really is. It brings back the memories.
Nevertheless, those are the trucks we used. It's what we learned to drive in. It's what we used to socialize with friends in as we were growing up.
You see these vehicles, and it brings back so many memories.
This is a dream come true. I had two brothers growing up, and we've all worked in the shop together with Dad. One of our brothers passed away at a young age, and then my older brother, Ray, he said, Dad would just love this truck.
Yeah.
So that's why I talk about nostalgia, and it's a family thing.
It's also a tribute to your father, because your father gave you guys great memories working, working in the shop and working on vehicles.
Everything we did growing up was revolved around cars. I've wanted to do this all my life.
The minute you take this thing, you're talking about the memories of your father and growing up, there's going to be a tear in your eye.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I got to tell you, Tim, man, you got a beautiful ride here. Everything that's on this truck belongs on this truck.
It's an original-looking truck with a little bit of an upgrade underneath.
Yeah, just a little. 1964 Chevy Custom. Gorgeous, all resto modded out. And Tim, thanks so much for opening up your garage and we got rides.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it and enjoyed it very much. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, brother.
How many Corvair trucks did Chevrolet produce in 1961? Was it A, 650,000, B, 47,557, C, 10,000, or D, 100,000? The answer when we come back. The answer is B, 47,557. In 1961, Chevrolet produced a bus, a ramp side pickup, and a panel delivery truck in the Chevy Corvair truck model. John, how you doing, buddy?
Welcome to the
nice to
shop.
finally meet you, brother. I know we've back and forth for a couple of years. We finally get to come out here. Wish the weather was better. Dude, what do we got?
73 CUDA, and the purists just go crazy because if you look at the front, it's a 70. It's titled a 73. Clearly,
But
that's not a
73 front. Good. I hope you're driving them nuts. What are you running for horsepower in this thing?
This is 635 horse,
Oh, really?
and it's a stroke 440, so it's
Oh, dude.
502 or just north of 500. whatever
Yeah,
that is.
and this is not what we came out here for because John's got a beautiful, wicked Dodge Demon at 72.
72.
And you just don't see these things too often, but we can't come here and not look at this.
You know, we can fire it off if you
Fire it
want
up.
to hear. You wanna
Fire
hear
it up while we're out here. Oh, you can't believe what it's like here. All right, so what's the story here, man?
You know, I'm a race car guy. There's a bit of a surprise under the hood. You can see I'm still working on the interior. I had to fabricate my own tunnel.
It's got to be because of the transmission.
It is.
What do you got for a trans?
It's a T60
Oh,
Tremec.
yeah, there's no way that's fitting
Not gonna fit. And that shifter's not correct. Again, I'm not a purist kind of guy. And that's for the B bodies, and that's a true Hurst shifter from the B body.
Nice.
It just screams Mopar. If you look at the taillights on these, I think it's the best looking taillight deck there is.
It's just got a mean look to it.
No, we call them beakers, you know, because they have that point.
How long have you been working on this, John?
About 4 years.
4 years now, huh?
So it takes me a little longer than most.
You got to pop the hood, man. We got to
All
see
right.
what you. Oh, are you kidding? A 6'1"?
The LS guys have got so many kits and so many ways to do things.
Yeah.
The Mopar family, we just don't have that. You have to make your own parts, figure it out, fabricate it yourself.
Who had to chop it just to get the alternator to squeeze in there?
That's aluminum piping. I just molded and then welded. You know, it's just little things. Could not find a radiator. I called everywhere in the country. I finally called this guy that specialized in Mopar salvage yard. I said, look, I want a radiator for this SRT. He goes, nobody wrecks them cars backing up. I started a build thread and I had, I don't know how many thousands of people following it.
So if somebody's watching this and maybe, hey, I can't figure this out, can they get a hold of you somehow online and talk to you?
They can, I go by Sublime One. In the,
Really? Well, that's original. Can we fire this one up too?
oh, sure.
It's just smooth, dude. See, that's what Rides is all about, man. Don't ever be afraid to reach out to me with your vehicle, whether it's a car, truck, motorcycle, tractor collection, snowmobiles, I don't care. Don't ever think that it's not cool enough for Rides, because everything is cool, man. John, thank you so much, man. Thanks for being on Rides.
No worries, thank you.
In 1973, Dodge changed the name of its Demon to something else. What did they change it to? Is the answer A, Challenger, B, Lancer, C, GTX, or D, Dart Sport? The answer when we come back. The answer is D. Now, apparently some religious groups didn't like the demon name or the devil character, so they changed the name. Bill,
Hi, Jay.
how you doing, man?
Good.
Oh, see, I could have worn my Chevy hat.
Well,
Damn
sure.
it!
Well, I got one you could probably wear.
Oh, man, I always wear my. Well, not always, but most times.
Yeah.
So this is it. We're gonna check out your hangout, huh?
All right.
Thank you for your service. I noticed the flag. Let's see. Here we go. This week's hangout. Wow.
I've been collecting for many years.
Before we get into the hangout, this is part of it. We got to talk about the Impala 59.
59, yep.
Look at that.
My second one, I had one in college and I had to sell it when I joined the service.
How many years you served?
4 years, was in the Navy.
Thank you for that, man. That's really cool. So how original is this?
I bought it pretty much the way it is. I did put the bucket seats in it, which were not a 59 option.
What's your prized possession in here?
Probably the pool table,
Yeah.
but it was my dad's. My parents in Fergus Falls, their neighbors' parents owned a pool hall. And when they closed the pool hall, this was the best table in the pool hall, and they couldn't get it in their basement. So my dad bought it for $50 in 1964.
Everything has a story.
Yep.
What's the story on the jukebox? I've never seen that style of a Seaberg.
It works good, except it plays whatever it wants to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's got a mind of its own? So what's on here is what you have in here, but it's just gonna play whatever.
It plays whatever it wants to.
Yeah, you got a nice mix in there. You know, a lot of guys will theme their garages out. Your cave, your hangout, it's just a little bit of everything.
Everything, yeah.
I like that. What's the oldest, other than the pool table, what's the oldest piece you think you have
You know,
in
that's a
here?
trivia thing I do here.
Okay.
And nobody ever finds it.
I have to find it. The oldest thing other than the pool table. Am I looking in the right spot?
Not at all.
Not at all?
That shotgun.
That's what I was looking at. How old is that?
Old hammer, Damascus barrel, so it gotta be late 1800s.
So anybody watching rides, look at this gun. If you know what year it is or have an idea, man, email me. I want to know now.
I got carried away in here.
Dude, okay. Let's just call this hangout number 2.
Yeah.
Didn't know about this one. I'm always looking when I'm on the road for something to buy. And I know you're not gonna sell it, but I have to ask. That,
That came from my dad's shop at the
yeah,
power
well, I
plant.
guess we'll forget that then. That ain't going anywhere.
This lathe is 106 years old. And I looked it up online in South Bend. That is the original company it was sold to. It's 1914.
1914, and this thing, I bet, works like the day it was built. When they built equipment back then, they knew what they were doing. That stuff was built to last. It wasn't built like today where it's, you know, if it breaks, you throw it away. No, it's like, I didn't know about this shop back here. Very cool. Thanks for sharing your hangouts with us and being on rides. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
Hey, if you have a cool story that involves a car, a motorcycle, a boat, heck, anything with an engine, we want to hear about it. Just go to rideswithjthomas.tv, send us a picture with your story, and your ride could be featured on the show. And don't forget to visit the merch shop where you can get all your Rides gear. From everyone here at Rides, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, for you viewers out there, all right, what does Mike do with this? You can vote on our Facebook page, Rides with Jay Thomas. Does Mike just leave this thing alone, or does he repaint it? Super Duty, A-Track in there. Now, hold on. I'm gonna see what A-Track is in there. Hold on, let's see. A little disappointed, but I was hoping Zeppelin.